How's it? It's Matt. Good to meet you. Hi Mum. Thought I'd do a little video because Jazz has been doing all the videos. She's good at stuff like that and I'm not very good at talking to anyone. But this is okay because this isn't anyone, this is just a camera. And I'm okay by myself, so thought I'd do a little update on how our little homestead's going. It's not so much a homestead, it's more just some scrub and some bush and forest. So I thought I'd show everyone around because quite a few people seem to be interested on how it's all going. So I'll take you around and we'll see if you're interested. So behind me is the road that we get access from. As you can tell, it's been nicely tarmacked and it's all nice and smooth. Just kidding, it's all rocks and boulders. Getting down here's a nightmare in the truck, but that's all good. That's why we bought two 4x4s, the old Surf and the old Hilux. Anyway, this is our gate and I've already started working here. And what I've done here is I've dug out a big drainage ditch because right where I'm standing here there was a giant puddle, and every time you wanted to just walk through you literally had to either have gumboots, wellies for those in England, or you'd get wet feet. So this seems to have cured the problem. So what happens is the neighbour's property is up there, and when it rains all the water comes down the road, fills up down here because there's nowhere for it to go, but now there is. It goes down here underneath the pipe under the ground and down a big ditch all the way down to the stream. So that's one thing I've done. There's one thing I've learnt about homesteading and looking after the land. It's directing water is pretty important. If you don't, you're going to end up with the soupy mud, or you'll end up with places too dry. So you've got to make sure the water goes where you want. So there's the ditch going underneath the Hilux. There's the underside of the Hilux. Ooh. I'll show you her lady parts. The water goes down here into our lovely stream. And what you're looking at now is my rather shoddy bridge that I built well over a year ago now. It's just made of bits and bobs I found in the bush, and I cut them to size and chucked them over the stream, and it seems to be good. But I'm in the process of improving this now. Me and Jazz was helping me, of course. Have just dug in 4 posts, and I'm going to build a big bridge, like a proper one with planks and everything. I'll show you a little close up. So that there is what you call a tenon, and I'm going to cut a mortise into a big beam, and it's going to go all the way over the stream to the other one, and that's going to be eventually a bridge. You'll get to see that when it's done, I suppose, or whenever. So here's my beautiful little stream here. It's got little fishes in, I doubt you can even see, but they are there. And this flows whether it's a drought, and it especially flows when it rains. And when we left last time we were here, the entire bridge that I'm standing on now basically washed aside in the first storm. So that's why I've got to build a better bridge, because the problem with wood is it floats, and yeah, so my bridge basically floated away. So I don't want that to happen again, so I'm going to build a better one. So there's not much to show you really, because at the end of the day most of the bush, most of the land is all like this. Behind me here, this is basically at least 6 acres of gorse, and if anyone knows anything about gorse, it's you know, you don't really want to be going through it. It's pretty spiky. The neighbour's land's behind me there. I don't know if I should really show you that. It's probably illegal, so I won't. So walking up the driveway again, up the other side of the stream. This bit of the driveway is all good. It seems to have stayed pretty mud free. There's a few rocks just down here. You probably can't see them. And every time you drive up, you hear the whole Hilux goes bang, and then you lose all traction. And then your wheel spinning for the rest of the way up, and then you get to the top. There's the top. I realise Jazz has probably shown you most of this. It's Jazz over there. This is extremely weird talking to myself or to a camera while Jazz is watching me. So down here, I started digging basically a random hole to get gravel out, because underneath the ground there's a whole lot of gravel, which is actually great, because that's great for roads, so I don't have to buy any gravel, which is sweet. I have fallen into it once with the Hilux, so maybe it wasn't such a great place to dig right next to the road, but hey ho, I do some pretty stupid stuff sometimes. Our neighbour in that direction, not that one, Andy and his son James came up here when we were gone, and they planted a whole heap of willows. I don't know if you can see that. And these are all growing quite nicely. These are awesome because in that direction is where all the cold wind comes from. And when these grow up, these will be a nice wind shelter, and it blows pretty good here because we're on the west coast of New Zealand and there's nothing between us and Australia, so we get some pretty good winds from the sea. So here we are. Right, we're into the guts of it now, and a few things have happened since I think Jazz has showed you around. There's a big pile of clay there behind me. There's another big pile of dirt, and there's another big pile of dirt. And where's it all come from? There. Yeah. So I've been digging out a bit of a driveway, and I've been digging it pretty deep. It's about 2 foot deep. I've been chipping away at it about an hour and a half every morning, because there's no way I can do it all in one day. Well, the reason I'm doing it is when it rains, the ground here gets super soggy, and it becomes a little bit of an issue when you're trying to get around. So driving around's a no-go. So I'm digging out a road by myself, because diggers cost money and I don't have a huge amount of that, but I do have 2 hands, 2 feet and 2 heads and Jazz. So what I'm going to do, the plan is I'm going to have a sweet roundabout going all the way around here. I don't know if that movement just made you all dizzy and feel sick, sorry about that. And so that you'll be able to drive all the way around with the cars, and that'll be pretty cool. So this direction, this is where me and Jazz have been building our hugel cultures, which is lots of sticks. And we have lots of sticks here because when you cut the gorse, you have to do something with the gorse. And then you bury it in heaps of mud, soil, whatever, and then you put mulch on the top like straw or whatever you got, leaves, doesn't matter. And then as it all breaks down, you plant into it, and that's your bed. And the whole point is that the wood, as it breaks down, it holds all the moisture, and the plants get all of the nutrients they need from the wood, the woody material underneath. So I've got a few plants. There's basil, tomatoes. We just planted heaps of beans. There's a bean. 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 That's not a bean. There's a bean. Lots of beans. There's a whole heap of plants. I'm sure Jazz has already told you about it. I think that's a cucumber. Can anyone tell me? I think it's a cucumber. I've also, last time we went into Hokitika, I went into town, I found heaps of weeds. And anyone who knows me knows I love weeds. I'm a bit of a funny one. Hence why I'm living in the bush, in a tent. And one of the things I found was, I believe it's blackberry nightshade, which has got these yummy little black berries. I'll give you a little close up here. And I planted heaps of them everywhere. There you go. Pretty sure they're not poisonous. Fingers crossed. Pretty yummy though. Okay, I'm walking this way. I realise I keep pointing it towards myself, but then you can't see the homestead. And you don't want to see my ugly mug, so let's go this way. That's the compost. I think Jazz has already done a video about that. That's where all our poo goes. Yeah, gross. So yeah, a couple more hugel cultures. That one's pretty well covered in mud. This one isn't.